Elements. Milo, come on up.
When we do portraits with biographies, we use 6 elements to help us analyze it. And I'm going to teach you guys these elements. The first element is facial expression.
So what we would do is we would draw a circle around our face, and feel free to join us in doing that if you feel comfortable. So facial expression.
The second one is focal point. And what we do.
So let's put them together.
And
Facial
expression, focal point. And then the next one is gesture. Oh, let's try that.
Awesome, Milo.
Facial expression, focal point, gesture. The next one is clothing. Now we can put them all together. Facial expression, focal point, gesture, clothing. And then the next one is setting. Now we can all try them together. Facial expression, focal point, gesture, clothing, setting. And the last one is object. And with objects we have size, quantity, and color. Now we can try this from the beginning. Facial expression, focal point, gesture, clothing, setting, object, size, quantity, color.
Awesome.
We teach the kids that portraits can be found in a number of places. They can hang in museums or fancy houses. They can be worn on a t-shirt. You can see them on a postage stamp. You can see Tony the Tiger on a box of Frosted Flakes. Portraits are everywhere. And we're going to use a familiar portrait, for which we just got a sneak preview, so that you can see how... So you get what you pay for. So you can see how, when you know what the elements are, how it works, and then hopefully we'll have time to go through a set pretty quickly to see how the kids really do it. I am quite confident that we all recognize our guest of honor and her son, but we're going to pretend like we don't. We're going to pretend like we don't. And the kids are going to analyze this portrait, starting with telling me about the facial expressions on the characters in the portrait.
Okay, the facial expressions look very serious, as if something very serious is going on, like trying to beat the Miami Heat.
Which we would have done. All right, what about facial expressions?
That was a good one.
What is the focal point of the two characters in the portrait?
Well, I think the woman in the portrait is trying to focus on the man in the portrait. And then the man in the portrait, I think he is focused on the game and he's trying to see...
What game? We don't know who this is. What game?
Oh, a basketball game.
You're just assuming this is a basketball game?
Yes.
What element is helping you with that?
I think it is the setting.
The setting could be helpful. The setting could be. Elliot, what about clothing? What does clothing tell us?
I think clothing tells us since the man is wearing a jersey, I think it's some kind of sport.
Some kind of sport. And what kind of sport would typically utilize a jersey like that?
Basketball.
Basketball. Very good. What about some objects, Kendra? Or did I skip-
Well,
did I skip something?
Yeah.
Gestures,
But-
whichever you want.
If you look right there in the background where the lights are, you can see like a big, not like a TV, but a monitor. And like you can see that it kind of looks like an arena going around. So they could be kind of at a basketball place.
Very good. And then setting.
For the setting, it looks like they're in an arena. tell this because there's a monitor and there's a ton of lights.
Now, I have a question. Can you guys make any connection with colors? When we talk about objects, we talk about colors. I noticed the woman is wearing kind of an orangish jacket, and I noticed some orange over here. Do you suppose there could be a connection there in any way? And if so, what might it be? If you decided, what if you decided this gentleman's profession is, we can tell from his clothing, he's a basketball player. So maybe this is just, what, who's wearing the same color clothing? A fan who showed up and said, oh, you're my hero. Or could there be another connection? Yes? Yes. Obviously, we are all very happy to know that that is Miss Pratt and his son Kevin. But do you see how we used those elements to analyze the portrait? Now we're going to move on. And I think he's just so cute. Earlier in the classroom, they said, oh yeah, one of the objects is a goatee. And I just wondered, Miss Pratt, how do you feel about that? Because my son's got a furry face, and I don't like it one little bit. You know, kids today. All right, we're going to look at some portraits very quickly. We're going to finish this up. The kids, what we would do is we would show them a set of portraits. We would pass them around the room. There would be all kinds of brilliant dialogue going on between the kids. We're going to do it a little differently today. First of all, what art form is this? Song.
Since it's kind of in a sculpture form, but it only has the upper part of the body, I think it would be like a showing of a bust.
Showing of a bust. What can we tell from clothing and so forth on this one? Omari?
We can tell from clothing that it's in older times, like
Like when I was born? Or
in the 1700s, because he has a ruffle.
It's kind of that ruffly
The
thing
ruffle,
going on.
He has a
So
ruffle.
you don't think he picked that up at American Eagle? All right. And the kids don't know who, or they didn't know who this is. And we play art detective. We try to figure it out. So we know he lived in colonial times. He must have been famous because you don't just make a bust of anybody. Is that just going to be? Oh, this is the same guy. What about his facial expression? Omari?
He looks angry.
He looks angry. He looks like, why do I have to sit here and do this? Could it be something other than anger? Alex?
That could be just his everyday expression, but it could also be he's listening patiently, or like Omari said, angry.
Okay, so we know he lived in the 1700s. We know that he must have been famous. And we know that he got to be old, right? Keep going for me. Oh, they even put him on a postage stamp. What do we know about people on postage stamps?
They are dead.
Now, based on the fact that he was probably alive in the 1700s, we could have inferred that anyway, but this is definitely proof. Keep going, second.
That's not always true.
Oh, now what is he on here? What is he on in this one?
Well, it looks like the gentleman in this portrait is on a coin of some kind, and it looks like that it was made of some kind of material, but probably an older material.
The objects start to become important, though, to telling the story. Let's talk about the objects. Omari?
Well, in this coin, or picture, the objects are a hat, a sword, so that shows me that he maybe is like a general, and he's going into war. He has a horse. Generals usually have horses. And in the background, there is a clock tower. The Great Tower or something.
Great Leaning Tower of Britain?
Something like that.
You thought it might be Big Ben.
Yeah.
London.
When we first saw this coin in the classroom, I thought in the background was Big Ben, so I thought he may have been in like London or Britain or
And
whatever.
that really confused us, because in colonial times, he was famous, he's dead, but he's in
Well, I think the teapot in his hand has some significance. Maybe it could be his profession, his hobby, his collection.
What do you suppose that teapot is made of?
Well, at the look of it, it looks like some kind of silver.
Oh, some kind of silver. Old, no, dead, not old, he's dead. Colonial times, famous, apparently important. London, we're kind of stuck on London. What else could that be? Not London, what else could that be? Carly? Boston. What would be in Boston?
North.
The Old North
The
Tower.
Old North
Oh, now, and on a horse. Okay, guys, reveal. Well, wait a minute. You want to ask the audience if they would like to reveal? Who would like to do that? All right, good. Take several answers. Don't let them off the hook.
Does anybody have an answer? Any guesses?
Don't tell them if they're right or wrong. Make them justify.
What'd you say? Okay.
And what do you think is Paul Revere's son?
Silversmith, horse, lock tower, financial trustee. Louisville, ripe old age, he's dead, he's on a stamp.
That is very good evidence. That is very good evidence. Does anybody have a different opinion?
Anybody?
Kendra has a different opinion.
I think it kind of looks like Thomas Jefferson.
Why do you
Because,
think he looks like Thomas Jefferson?
because on the second picture, his hair kind of looks like Thomas Jefferson's hair.
And how did Thomas Jefferson's hair look?
All whitish.
They're all just buzzing around back there. All right.
Any other guesses? Any? Going once, going twice.
Go ahead, tell us.
And do I say the right answer? Sold to him. Got it right.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being good sports. First of all, this is not a demonstration or a show. This is what we do. This is what goes on in our classrooms every single day throughout Wilson Elementary, and we are very grateful to Black Ink for making it possible with their support both in funding and occasionally substituting. When I see Miss Arnold in the building, I don't think, oh, Miss Arnold is here today. I think, where's she been? Because she is just a fixture at Wilson, and we appreciate her very, very much. Kids, you rocked. They would like to do one more thing for you because they know it makes me cry. And so if we could have about a minute and a half more, we will do that. Who would like to lead it with the mic?
They're going to sing for you the preamble to the Constitution of the United States.
1, 2, 3.
We the people,
In order to form a perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare,
That's what I'm talking about.
secure the blessings of liberty, to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain
and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
All right.
Together in their beautiful sound, and the results of tomorrow, reciting the preamble to the Constitution of the United States. Thank you very much. Let's give them a standing applause. They did a really great job.